Now, Khamzat Chimaev said that he's not going out. He doesn't want to interact with people. He doesn't want to get sick.
The worst, if we go to the mall, if somebody gets sick and he's a big fan, he's going to come for me and maybe we get that sickness, you know, so I have to be careful for that. Better to stay home, prepare for the fight.
Chimaev is just a I mean, I was here when he retired from COVID, bro. I was training with him. Like, he's just a
When you look at Khamzat, you have to look at him when he jumps on you, you better be ready for the best. You better have the best wrestling, anti-wrestling and fighting skill ready to...
Recent chatter has sparked rumors that Khamzat Chimaev might be dealing with legal issues, with some even claiming he's been keeping out of sight in the lead-up to his bout with Dricus du Plessis. But according to Michael Bisping, the truth is far less dramatic. He explained that Chimaev is simply steering clear of unnecessary distractions and pressures. By limiting public appearances, Chimaev reduces the chance of catching an illness and preserves his focus. Even well-meaning fans looking for a quick photo or chat can unintentionally sap his energy, something he's determined to avoid while preparing for the fight.
One issue that he has had is getting sick. Sean Strickland was talking about that recently, calling him a little bitch.
No, he can fight, but like mentally, he's just a weak man.
Now, Khamzat Chimaev said that he's not going out. He doesn't want to interact with people. He doesn't want to get sick.
The worst, if we go to the mall, if somebody gets sick and he's a big fan, he's going to come for me and maybe we get that sickness, you know, so I have to be careful for that. Better to stay home, prepare for the fight, relax.
But he also doesn't want to have his time and his mind stressed. All these people and fans, they all mean well and they want to talk to you, they want to get a picture, they want you to go on podcasts and all this type of stuff, but it sucks away your mental energy. Khamzat Chimaev is avoiding everyone, but he's also avoiding them all so that he doesn't get...
Bisping went on to add that Khamzat isn't expected to run into any legal trouble down the line. He pointed out that former US President Donald Trump, a well-known supporter of the UFC, has always shown a strong interest in the sport. According to Bisping, Trump's friendship with UFC President Dana White means that, for as long as Trump holds office, Chimaev is unlikely to face any visa-related setbacks.
It's because he was struggling to get a work visa in the United States of America. Of course, this fight is going down in Chicago. Dana White, UFC president, of course, is very close friends and has a special relationship with Donald Trump. So regardless, they've made that happen. So I don't think getting into the States is going to be an issue. If Khamzat Chimaev does beat Dricus du Plessis, and that's a big if, by the way, I don't think getting into the States is going to be a problem. Certainly not under his championship run. Donald Trump has got another 3 years in the Oval Office. Of course, a lot of people are going to be trying to impeach the guy, but he's got another 3 years, give or take, in the Oval Office. So Khamzat Chimaev, in the prime of his career, is going to have absolutely no problem getting into America.
Meanwhile, Sean Strickland didn't hold back when talking about his ongoing feud with Khamzat Chimaev. He gave a blunt take on the middleweight star, recalling the time during the COVID era when Chimaev briefly stepped away from the sport. Strickland claimed that if fans got to know Chimaev behind the scenes, many wouldn't see him in such a positive light.
I was just I mean, I was here when he retired from COVID, bro. I was training with him. Like, he's just a you know, it's like, if you knew, I always say there's guys, if you knew on a personal level you wouldn't like, Chimaev is one of those people if you knew you wouldn't like. You know, he'll come in here. There's a video of me, I always like, oh, you're so good. Like, I'm being sarcastic. Like, bro, like, he gets a little bit, be nice. You're better than most, you're better than everybody. So just don't hurt people.
Strickland didn't stop there. He took aim at Chimaev's choice of opponents, pointing out that Chimaev went after a fighter with a 1-to-1 record and roughly the same height, instead of testing himself against top-tier UFC competition. To Strickland, that move looked like cherry-picking an easy win. And while he admitted Chimaev is undeniably skilled inside the cage, he still branded him as mentally fragile.
You go and you starch this 1-on-1 guy when there's like Edmund, there's like high-level UFC fighters, and you're picking the one-on-one fighter because like you think he's the same height as your opponent. No, you're picking him because you're a bitch, dude. Like, it's just, yeah, he's just like, no, he can fight, but like mentally, he's just a weak man. You know, he's just a weak man.
On another note, Din Thomas took a moment to clear up his earlier remarks about Khamzat Chimaev. He explained that his previous comments on Chimaev's inconsistent fight schedule had been widely talked about. Thomas pointed out that since Chimaev, even as a contender, hasn't competed very often, it wouldn't be realistic to expect him to be more active if he held the championship.
Yeah, he made a whole post. Bilal Muhammad made a whole post like, what the bleep is Dean Thomas talking about?
Oh, he did?
I swear it. I was like, yo, I'm flattered, honestly. I'm flattered by the attention from that. But I thought I was stating the obvious. I'm like, we've got a guy who has been averaging one fight a year for one reason or another. And everybody's like, oh yeah, but this excuse and that's just like that. The excuses are not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he hasn't, it's irrelevant to the fact that as a contender, he only fights one time a year. Imagine him as champion that's got media obligations and his life blows up. This guy's going, when is he? I mean, was it good for the division when John Jones became heavyweight champ?
Meanwhile, Dricus du Plessis shared his expectations for the upcoming clash with Khamzat Chimaev, predicting an all-out war from the opening bell to the final moment. Du Plessis said he doesn't believe Chimaev will alter his usual aggressive style, and he has no plans to change his own approach either. His strategy is simple: push forward, apply relentless pressure, and aim to dominate, rather than just focus on stopping takedowns.
It's going to be absolute chaos. I just think, I don't see him coming in with a different game plan, and me neither. I'm going out there to attack. I'm going there to kill him. I'm not going out there to defend Khamzat's takedowns. I'm not going out there to defend. I'm going there to attack. So, like every other time, and everybody said it's impossible. Not this guy. And I'm going to go out there, and you're going to see the boogeyman. You're going to see him break. You're going to see him break in there. And then realize there's only one boogeyman, and that's me. In the middleweight division, there can be only one boogeyman, and that will be me.
Adding to his game plan, du Plessis emphasized that his main focus will be on staying on the offensive. While he admits the fight might play out a bit differently, he believes it could resemble the success Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman found against Chimaev, forcing him into deep waters and pushing him to his absolute limits.
I think it's going to look a little bit different. I mean, if you look at the Gilbert Burns fight and the success he had with Khamzat, that's a very, very good. Even with the Usman fight, Usman was, people don't just go and defend against him. He was forced. Usman was forced to defend, and he did a great job. And then he started with his offensive wrestling and showing Khamzat that he's not the only one who can wrestle in there. I think that was a big key in that fight, which made it a very close fight. And then Gilbert Burns being an absolute animal, also not being scared of Khamzat wrestling and, going for it, attacking. This game doesn't work by defense. You don't win fights by defending, you win fights by attacking.
Similarly, Demetrius Johnson stressed that anyone stepping in against Khamzat Chimaev must be ready to face him at his absolute best. He highlighted the importance of elite-level wrestling, strong takedown defense, and well-rounded fight skills. Johnson explained that once Chimaev gets his grip on you, he'll steer the fight into his comfort zone, controlling the position, reading your reactions, and eventually securing the takedown.
Look at Khamzat. You have to look at him when he jumps on you, you better be ready for the best. You better have the best wrestling, anti-wrestling and fighting skill ready to rock and roll, because once he locks on, he's going to be looking to go to that position, which I call it home. He's going to sit there and wait. And then he's going to, let's see what you're going to do. Once you start the post, he's going to take out that post. He takes out the post. He's going to jump to the other side, take out the other post, get his hooks in, and beat you up until you give him your neck or neck crack.
Johnson went on to add that Chimaev shows little interest in prolonged striking exchanges. In his view, if it were entirely up to Chimaev, every round would be spent wrestling, dragging opponents to the canvas and keeping them under tight control from start to finish.
He doesn't want to do anything on the feet. If he could, he would wrestle.
Michael Bisping also remarked that this fight will be the true test of whether Chimaev can maintain his explosiveness and danger across a full 5 rounds. He noted that Dricus du Plessis is not only incredibly durable, but also poses a challenging stylistic puzzle. Bisping recalled how Chimaev's pace dipped after the first round in his bouts with Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, suggesting that if those issues appeared at welterweight, they could very well surface again against du Plessis.
We're going to see now if Khamzat Chimaev can be explosive and be a threat throughout 5 rounds, because Dricus du Plessis is a really tough guy, and stylistically it's a tough matchup, okay? Khamzat struggled with Gilbert Burns after round 1. He struggled with Kamaru Usman after round 1. Well, if he struggled with 2 welterweights that blew up to 185, talking about Kamaru, he's certainly going to struggle with Dricus du Plessis. Du Plessis is a gigantic middleweight, walks around at about 230 pounds, diets down to 185. He's got excellent jiu-jitsu. You've seen the videos of him tapping out multiple black belts. He's spoken quite openly that he's going to beat Khamzat at his own game. He's going to go toe-to-toe. He's going to walk him down. He's going to choose to grapple with him and test him down there.
However, Sean Strickland looked back on his own clash with Dricus du Plessis, pointing out that du Plessis has a more polished stand-up game than Khamzat Chimaev. While acknowledging Chimaev's dangerous grappling, Strickland said he's confident in his own ability to get back to his feet and counter opponents like him. Still, he questioned whether du Plessis has ever truly experienced the kind of relentless wrestling pressure that Chimaev brings.
I sparred. I fought Dricus. I fought Dricus. Dricus has better stand-up than Chimaev, but Chimaev has a pretty crazy grappling. Now, I've been training with these daggy terrorists my entire life, so it's like I train with these. I know how to get up from these guys. I can withstand the storm. I don't know if he's encountered that level of wrestling to where it might get him a little off guard.
Even so, Strickland suggested that if du Plessis can survive that pressure and work his way back to his feet, he'll have a legitimate chance to win, though it won't be easy. He referenced Brad Tavares managing to take du Plessis down and control him as proof that he needs to be ready for non-stop grappling pressure. Still, Strickland added that if du Plessis can endure it, he has the tools to keep his undefeated streak intact.
But if he could handle it, get up and work his way up, it's kind of hard because, it was a long time ago, but Brad took him down and held him down. Fuck, I should have him down. But Brad took him down and held him down, so it's like he just really has to be ready for an extreme amount of pressure on the ground. And if he can withstand, no, he's just kind of again, he's like a soft man. Like you take someone like Dricus, Dricus will die. That man doesn't give a Chimaev, he's just not Chimaev wins off being a bad guy. I'm a bad, tough, scary terrorist, where it's and if you look at everybody who's fought, that pulls this card, all right, let's go. Shit starts changing. So I think it's just some kind of...
Sharing in the uncertainty, Josh Thompson made it clear he has no personal issue with Khamzat Chimaev, but his main concern is the question mark over Chimaev's gas tank. He wondered how Chimaev will perform beyond the first round and a half, and whether Dricus du Plessis can survive that initial onslaught. According to Thompson, if du Plessis can weather the storm in round 1, there's a real possibility he could carry that momentum through the later rounds, and even finish Chimaev in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
I love watching the guy fight. He's a fantastic athlete. And I actually kind of feel, I feel that I have been vindicated by a lot of the other media that has also kind of said exactly what I've said. The concerns will be, what will he be at? What will he be like after rounds 1.5? Going into round 2, can DDP survive rounds 1, maybe even possibly 2? Can he survive? If he can survive round 1, I think he survives round 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I'm at. If you can survive round 1, I think DDP has a really good chance of surviving rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, and possibly even getting Chimaev out of there by rounds 2, 3, 4.
Brendan Schaub also weighed in, calling this the biggest middleweight title fight in recent memory. He admitted he couldn't confidently pick a winner, emphasizing that both fighters are operating at such a high level that it's nearly impossible to separate them.
Big fights next, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. That's when you got DDP Khamzat.
I cannot.
Which to me is
I cannot wait.
The greatest middleweight title fight in I don't know how long, man.
Yeah, truly, right?
It's so good.
Your money is on Khamzat?
I can't say that.
You can't say that.
No. DDP.
Adding his perspective, TJ Dillashaw described training alongside Khamzat Chimaev as a surreal experience. He noted that Chimaev has brought his full team to Chicago, working out together with the backing of everyone at the Jackson Media House. According to Dillashaw, Chimaev has been grinding through grueling rounds in both striking and wrestling, displaying crisp technique and unrelenting effort. TJ added that, even now, Chimaev already appears to be in championship form.
It's awesome to be next to Chimaev, to feel the energy that he's got going on right now. He's got his whole team out here at the Jackson Media House doing his workouts, and everyone's behind him, everyone's supporting him. You can just feel the energy in the room. He's pushing hard rounds. I think he did like 8 rounds of mitts after he did grappling. So the guy's in tip-top shape, great grappling techniques he went over, and then, crushed mitts. So he's definitely in championship shape.
Amid all the buzz, John McCarthy noted that Khamzat Chimaev has grown as a fighter, especially in his ability to recognize the perfect moment to press forward and close the show. He highlighted the bout with Robert Whittaker as a prime example of Chimaev capitalizing at just the right time when the opening presented itself.
And I've said it before, I look at this fight and I think Chimaev has really grown as a fighter, and grown in the fact that he understands, hey, if I'm given the opportunity, I'm going to step on the gas and go after this guy, and I'm going to try to get rid of him, just like he did with Whittaker, which is, hey, that's the right thing to do when you have the opportunity.
However, McCarthy cautioned against pushing an all-out pace right from the opening round, explaining that it can burn through so much energy that it impacts the rest of the fight. He emphasized that no matter how great a fighter's conditioning may be, fatigue is inevitable, and the real key is how effectively you recover and adjust once it sets in.
But don't force the opportunity. Don't force yourself into being this overwhelming, hurricane coming after someone that you're burning so much energy in that, first round activity that you don't have it for the next. And no matter what, I don't care how good a shape you're in, everyone will get tired. Okay. It's a matter of how are you going to recover from being tired, and how does that, set up in your...
Similarly, Michael Bisping praised Dricus du Plessis as a powerful, physically imposing fighter with impressive cardio, a granite chin, and genuine knockout power. He said this fight will ultimately reveal whether Khamzat Chimaev can keep up his pace for the full 5 rounds, and warned that if he can't, he could find himself in serious trouble.
Big, he's strong, he's got a good gas tank, he's got an excellent chin, and he's got knockout power. So we are going to see if Khamzat Chimaev can really push it over 5 rounds, because if he can't, he's going to be in a lot of...
At the same time, Bisping gave credit to Khamzat Chimaev, pointing out his world-class wrestling and lightning-fast takedown entries. He noted that Chimaev can shoot from surprising distances and still land his takedowns, thanks to his explosive power. Bisping suggested that Chimaev's strength must be tremendous, as once he closes the distance and locks on, opponents are almost always taken to the mat. Still, he also acknowledged Chimaev's tendency to slow down after the opening rounds.
Khamzat Chimaev is just ridiculous, right? The wrestling on this guy is phenomenal. The way that he shoots a double leg and closes and covers so much distance, it's wild. He shoots from so far out that it shouldn't work, but he's so explosive and so powerful, he makes it work. He closes the distance, and all he needs to do is get a hold of you. So I assume that Khamzat is also ridiculously strong as well, because he's fast, powerful, he's explosive, he's got good wrestling, and if he gets his hands on you, you're going down, okay? But as we know, he gets tired after the first.
However, du Plessis feels his grappling is being underestimated simply because fans haven't seen much of it in action. He stressed that while his wrestling and ground game often get overlooked, he's a complete mixed martial artist, capable of striking with anyone and grappling with anyone. And when it comes to blending every aspect of the sport together, du Plessis confidently considers himself the best in the world.
Absolutely. I think, I just don't think people have seen a lot of it, so it changes the game. I think if, Khamzat mentioned it, he said, Robert Whittaker took me down. He did. He got a good time takedown. I got up very easily. When Rob took me down, I got up with no problems, took him down, and I dominated him on the floor. Yeah, I guess people haven't seen too much of my grappling and wrestling that much, but at the end of the day, I'm a complete MMA fighter, and that's why I'm the best in the world. I can strike with anyone, I can grapple with anyone, I can wrestle with anyone, but when it comes to putting it all together, I'm the best in the world.
Building on that, Drakkar Klose offered his prediction, saying that if the fight goes past the second round, he sees Dricus du Plessis emerging victorious. Still, he admitted that anything can happen in those early moments, and if the bout ends quickly, it could easily be Chimaev's night. Ultimately, Klose leaned toward picking du Plessis to get the win.
I think if it goes past 2 rounds, I think DDP is going to win. But, anything, 1 to 2 rounds, I Khamzat.
What do you think's more likely?
I can see DDP.
Who you got in that, Dre?
I think if it goes over 2 rounds, I got DDP, but
If someone's giving you 10K, what are you doing with it?
fuck, I'm gonna go DDP.
I think DDP too, dude.
He's awkward. Just when you're not like when people are used to, I think like even like pros and when we spar amateurs do completely different, and you get hit with like, hey, you're not supposed to go that way, and I kind of see that's how DDP is. It's like he's still kind of green, but
he brings people to his level.
Looking at the matchup, John McCarthy observed that Dricus du Plessis may not be the most polished pure striker or grappler in the division, but what truly sets him apart is his gas tank. For such a big, powerful fighter, du Plessis can keep pressing forward even when exhaustion sets in, a trait that speaks volumes about his mentality inside the cage.
I look at this fight, and DDP he's not impressive in the fact that, oh, he's this fantastic grappler. He's not impressive when you look and you say, oh, he's this incredible striker. Where DDP is impressive is he's got a motor for a big, strong guy. He can continue to go, and even when you look and you go, he's tired, he still pushes, which says up here, he's an incredibly mentally tough individual. So that right there is the one element that I look at that tells me, okay, he can definitely win this fight. It's not like I got a guy in Chimaev that's going to run through him. I don't think Chimaev is just going to run through him. I think DDP is too good overall.
And that's where things stand. The stage is set for an all-out battle between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus du Plessis. With lingering questions about Chimaev's cardio, du Plessis grappling, and whether either man can truly impose their will over 5 grueling rounds, this clash promises fireworks from the very first bell. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more fight coverage, and share your predictions in the comments below. We'll catch you in the next video with more big fight updates.